Hey everybody, this isn't Netflix. Today we're getting into Missile Assault. We're going to start with the maps first and then get into gameplay footage. Facility is going to be up first, and 1 and 3 should be the easiest points to hold because of the straight path between them. There is a basement for the high ground, and 2 provides good sniping shots and a place to harass. But really, that straight path between 1 and 3 is what should allow you to hold both of them. As you can see, you can just run up halfway and then suppressing fire on the other silo, whichever one you're trying to get to. And as you can see, the path up to 2, you can go underground to the left, up the high ground if you want, but of course that's going to subject you to fire, or around this way. And of course you don't want to try and assault the silo by yourself, unless you've got your team. So we're going to cut right now to Last Echo, and 2 is the most important silo that you're going to hold there because of the pyramid, and just the distance between 1 and 3 is huge. As you can see down to the right, there's one way, and over here up to the left is the second way to get to the second silo. Anytime you're assaulting the pyramid, you want to do it from a distance, and definitely don't jump up on it if there's more than one enemy. You always want to look for people coming around from your sides, regardless. That's why it's important to watch your radar. But again, keep your distance and then harass the pyramid from afar. You can duck up and around corners, of course, to heal whenever you need to. But retreat whenever is necessary. If you're getting pursued or if you're totally outnumbered, definitely run away. This is trying to assault up the hill from 3, I believe it is. And as you can see, going uphill is very difficult there. This is the front line. 2 is the most important one to hold, and going from 3 to 2 is usually easiest, in my opinion. The boundary for the silo is right there at the opening of this bottleneck, so it's really easy to assault and defend depending on your what side you're on. Try not to get in your teammates' way if they're trying to escape through there, or if they might be trying to shoot grenades or whatnot down that way. But feel free to duck back and forth, and then always check around the corners because the distance isn't that long. You can get flanked pretty easily. So we're at Silo 1 now, and just to show you how far it is to Silo 2, this is the high ground route that you can take, and this is probably one of the best ways to attack Silo 2 from because of the pillar to your right and the ease of dropping down or going a different direction. Here is the other route, which is the underground route. It's very dangerous to get bottlenecked up in this ramp area because it's just the easiest place to have an entire team just get taken out completely due to AoE. And this is how you defend 2, ideally. They're coming out the bottleneck there, and you have to keep your distance away, but just maintain your fire, especially your tow rocket, grenades, whatever it is to use to have AoE. And if you've got a constant fire weapon like the assault rifle, just keep your bullets flying down that way, down the angles of the opening, and that'll be your best suppression. Coming up next is the bazaar. The side areas between the bases and the silos is massive, so relatively the distance between the silos is very small. Ideally you want to take 2 as soon as possible because from there it's easy to assault and easy to defend. Unfortunately my teammate goes for 3 first. You want 1 and 2 in my opinion because there's kind of a straight path between them. It's really easy to get to. This is also relatively straight, but going uphill from 3 to 2 is not ideal. Here we are now. This is me getting a revenge kill really quick, and then gonna demonstrate the distance between 1 and 2. There we go, finishing this up. I was practicing the Raider before the patch, and was gonna say that the new updates are fantastic. The movement speed makes it much more difficult to hit the EOC repeater mines, but it's still a great update for everybody, and I'm going to make a video about that. I turn the volume down right now because the beeping from low health is just too much for that long. The upper route to the right was one way to assault Silo 2, and then this way going straight and then jumping up is another if you've got teammates going up to that high ground. Ideally though you want to go to the high ground because it's the straight direct route. And we're gonna cut so you don't see me die. Then here's the bunker. They didn't have a map shot, but this is basically the silo arrangement. And for the bunker, it's 3 and 1. I think have the closest distance. 2 is slightly further away, but this map is just chaotic all the time regardless. There's not a whole lot of cover unless you go into the bunker itself, but most people will see you in there, and it's very easy to shoot from the lip of the bunker into it. There we were transferring, and you see the distance between 3 and 1, pretty good. And now we're going to see just how quickly things change around. We just captured 1, and the enemy finished 2, so they're trying to come back to 1 because they know that's where we are. And this is why it's one of the most difficult maps, because there's hills that you can use for cover, kind of like the small pyramids in Last Eco, but they are very small, and it's very easy to shoot over them. Most people can boost and get a good line of sight to getting shot off, and it's really difficult to take people out from long range and find cover for yourself to heal. Plus you'll get flanked from almost all the time. There we go. There we are, going from 3 to 1 now. That's very quick distance, as you can see. Now I'm using my ability to try and get away, because you should never boost away from your teammates, especially when the other team has been showing pretty good cohesion the entire game, so that's dumb on my part. But then the distance between 2 and 3 now, you can see, is a little bit longer. It's about 1 second more boosting on the Raider there. Coming up next is Wreckage. Wreckage is very easy, very straightforward. You only sit at 3 and 2, and you don't let anybody else go to 1 unless they want to snipe from long distance, or C-class goes up by themselves, or something like that. But if you want to win, just sit at 3 and 2, stay between them, and just defend constantly, because you will be assaulted at 2, and people will try and flank you around from 3, but the distance between them, as you can see, is very, very short. That's about it. I didn't even get a shot of taking 1 because it wasn't worth it. Here we are at Origin, which is the most complicated map. As you can see in the first shot, the basement, lower level silos are relatively close together, but the fact that Silo 2 sits directly in between them and can be accessed by the jump pads really makes it difficult to decide what the best tactic for Origin is. You definitely need to lock down at least 1 of the lower level silos, but taking 2 is also very, very important. If you can secure 2 right off the bat, you probably want to do that, because it's easy to attack the lower level silos from there. It's a little bit more difficult to go from the lower levels up because of the time that you're in the air due to the jump pads, and that leaves you vulnerable for a long time. But there you see that the distance between 1 and 3 really isn't that big, so it's completely possible to keep the bottom 2 locked down and have the enemy try and fight from 2 to the lower levels, if your team is large enough, and if you have enough cohesion and everybody stays on the ground and just basically fires long range up at 2, creating enough harass. This is to show that the enemy usually thinks that it's very safe to be up in the silo if your team hasn't been there for a while. So definitely take the opportunity to jump up every now and then and surprise people. You never know how lucky you get, and you might be able to turn the tide of things for your team. So don't overextend, of course. That's not the best thing. I should have gone to the left, right up here. But don't ever be afraid to make the push if you think that there might be an opportunity that can be made. Of course, don't die unnecessarily. This is to show how quickly you can change elevation. We started at the top of Silo 2, and then drop down a level, try and repair a little bit, get flanked around again by 2 enemies. Teammates take care of 1, and then we drop down a second level to this kind of roadway beneath the silo, and if we need to again drop down, we have a very lower level, and the silos on the ground are slightly elevated, so they're a bit of high ground in themselves. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Don't be afraid to defend 1 silo by yourself, and have a good game. Please like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll get some more up soon.